By the end of today's episode, you'll know all about Chris Pratt and how he became a household name in Guardians of the Galaxy and the Jurassic World series. Welcome to the Actor's Career Compass, where we help aspiring screen actors find high-quality auditions, sign with great agents, and book major roles in legit productions. I'm your host, Martin Benson, and in today's episode, we're going to be exploring Chris Pratt's acting career. We'll cover how he initially got into acting, what specifically led to his breakout role in Guardians of the Galaxy, and some key takeaways any actor listening to this episode can implement in their own career. So Chris Pratt initially had zero interest in acting. He went to community college and he worked random odd jobs to make ends meet. And eventually he decided to move to Hawaii for a few years, and he lived out of a van. He got a job waiting tables at a Bubba Gump Shrimp restaurant in Hawaii. And out of the blue, he ran into a casting director who was working on a short film. He was waiting on the casting director's table. They wound up striking up a conversation there, and she decided to cast him on the spot. It was a horror film, again, a short, but he really enjoyed the process. He loved working on it. And at that point, he decided to start pursuing acting more seriously and made the move to LA. Now, as he tried to grow his acting career, he faced a lot of difficult challenges, and he was even homeless at one point, living in a tent. After a few years, though, struggling a ton and auditioning as much as he could, he occasionally started booking random small roles, and eventually he got lucky and booked a recurring character in the show Everwood, where he played Bright Abbott, and that was from 2002 to 2006. A few years later, and again after some more small bookings and building a continuously stronger resume over the years, he wound up booking the role of Andy Dwyer on Parks and Recreation, and he stayed there from 2009 to 2015. People really loved his comedic timing and his improv skills. And after a few years on the show, an opportunity arose for him to audition for Guardians of the Galaxy. A casting director that he knew had recommended that he audition for the role, and he did a truly outstanding audition, and the casting team wanted to seriously consider him. Now, it was a tough decision for them because he didn't look like a superhero physically, or the type of character that would be this strong guardian of the galaxy, right? But they decided to give him the opportunity anyway because they loved his audition so much. And when he booked that job, he wanted to do everything that he could to do a great job for them, so he decided to completely change his physique. And he spent the next 6 months working to burn fat and build muscle so that he could give himself that superhero look that he really wanted. The casting team and many other people in the industry actually noticed the commitment that he was showing towards this role and this job by all the time and effort that he was putting in at the gym. And more opportunities started opening up for him after this role that he booked in Guardians of the Galaxy. So that's pretty much it. At that point, it just became booking after booking. At the end of the day, Chris Pratt is really a great example of someone who took every possible opportunity he was given and put the effort in to make the most out of it. Too many people are given opportunities and they just don't do much with them. Or they get in their own heads and decide to back out last minute thinking that they're not going to do a good enough job. Instead, if you can look at yourself and always ask, how can you hold yourself to a higher standard and keep pushing for more? Whether it's by saying yes to a role that you think is beyond your abilities and figuring out what to do to improve, or by deciding to completely change your physique like Chris Pratt did to show people how seriously he takes his career. Holding yourself to a higher standard and continuously pushing for more success is one of the best ways you can make a difference in your acting career. Thanks for listening. Now, if you want to dive deeper on changing your physique, I highly recommend checking out my recent podcast episode called How to Improve Your Physique to Book Superhero Auditions, which is episode number 77. You're going to learn a ton, and you're going to have a much better understanding of the exact steps to take to put on significant amounts of muscle mass and burn fat as quickly as possible, all without using steroids or other harmful drugs. Check it out. Again, it's episode number 77, How to Improve Your Physique to Book Superhero Auditions on the Actor's Career Compass. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon.